Hey, everybody. We are here with a special guest today, the very talented Jim Meskimen. How you doing today, Jim?
Real good, Andrew. Thanks for having me aboard.
Yeah. So we do have one burning question at the very start.
Okay, this won't take long at all.
Yeah, just one.
Well, we got others, but this is the one that me and Joel have been wondering the most. How did your people find our show? Because we're like a two-man nothing operation.
Well, you may consider yourself a two-man nothing operation, but believe me, my team is very intrepid, and they only seek out the highest quality podcasts. And we've actually been tracking you for some time.
Nice.
Yeah.
Oh,
So
well, flattery will get you everywhere. I'll tell you what.
That's how Joel could afford that background that makes it look like he has a nice house.
And with a grand piano. I can't wait for you to go over there, Joel, and play us a little tune.
I'll play us out. I'll walk over there and play us out.
So, okay, cool. It turns out we are a good podcast. That's a good ego boost for the day.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
There we go.
So
One of the top.
one of the things in your people's email that they sent us is you're the most recognizable, unrecognizable celebrity. And I was
wondering
wondering,
my people about that particular paragraph.
I was wondering when people come up to you in public and they're like, they know you, but they don't exactly. They're like, I know you from somewhere. How long do you like kind of let them awkwardly sit with it before you're like, you probably know me from this?
I cut it off at about 3 weeks.
3 weeks.
At that point, I'm going to just lower the boom and tell them who I am.
Yeah.
These days, actually, because I've gone through all the various stages of being completely unknown to being almost known to being known here and there to being recognized, to being mistaken for others. There's quite a scale. And these days, though, most people come up to me and say, hey, I love your videos on Instagram and YouTube and TikTok. I love your Hey Dads that you do with your daughter. Sometimes they know my name, but mostly they know me as a guy who does impressions, and that's fine. However, I had a kind of a cool thing that happened just the other day. My wife and I are trying to buy tickets, airline tickets to go to Spain, actually later in the summer. And we were very frustrated by the travel agencies that were trying to deal with online. It was miserable, and we'd lose things, and they'd say, "Oh, well, that's not available." And you're like, "Oh, I have to enter all this data now again." Finally, we called somebody and got in touch with a human being, and he said, and he was from India, obviously. I'll do his voice. He said, "What is your name, please?" And I said, "My name's Jim Meskimen." And he went, "Are you? Do you know anybody else by that name?" And I said, "Not really." And he said, "Because there's a famous actor who was named Jim Meskimen who does a lot of impressions and things." And I went, "Well, that's me." And he went, "Oh my goodness, sir! I am so happy to hear from you, and I'm going to do my best to make sure that you have the best possible deal. So you will get your ticket. Do not worry, sir."
That's awesome.
It's like you and Tony Hawk. He always seems to have that problem of no one believes it's him.
Yep.
Me and Tony Hawk, yeah.
Yeah, you and Tony Hawk, two peas in a pod. So,
actually, I wanted to kind of bring that up. You said you're going to Spain. I think I read you did some like art study in Spain when you was younger, correct?
When I was younger, I did. I was in my 20s, and I lived in Spain for a while. I was invited to go to Spain to study painting with my painting mentor. And I spent 2 different trips. I spent about 2 years out there in Galicia, which is in the northwest coast, and also some time in Madrid, which was, and it was a very formative, I won't say it was an easy experience. It was a difficult experience, but it was a very formative and very valuable experience for me. I think anytime anyone goes to, from the United States, goes and lives in Europe for a while, it's a great eye opener. Every country's different, but Spain was a really interesting experience for me.
Well, that's awesome.
Did you try to come on this show just so you could get a better idea of doing an impression of Joel?
Well, now that I'm talking to Joel and hearing his voice, I'm like, we have got to spend some time together because that is delicious. You have a very delicious if I may say, Southern accents. You don't hear too many people with an accent quite this, I won't say thick, but I'll say developed.
On my way home from work today, I was in my mind. Yeah, I was wondering how long is it going to be before you pull out my accent.
It's a wonderful mixture too. There's a lot of stuff going on there.
It's half Southern accent, half speech impediment, but he's fine with it.
Easy there, Andrew.
Yeah,
that's true. That's a fact.
It's actually, I'll let you in on the trade secret, Jim. It's actually a speech impediment, but I got lucky. It sounds like a funky accent, like a funky Southern accent.
Well, shouldn't a speech impediment impede your speech? I don't see any of that. I think you've got a faulty speech impediment.
Maybe we should start saying you have a speech enhancement, Joel.
It's a speech
additive, maybe, for extra strength. Yeah, it's charming. It's wonderful. You should be very proud of it.
Appreciate it. Thank you, Jim.
I asked my question.
Well, I've enjoyed it. There's more. There's more.
Yeah, there is more. I know that I did a little bit of research on you, and you trained in animation with Hanna-Barbera Studios for a while. You were assistant storyboard for Jaina the Jungle, but you've never really created an animated series of your own. Have you ever tried to consider doing that? Or
I have recently considered. I'm like, what the hell now? Animation is now so simple. Anybody can do it on their phone, for Christ's sake. So what am I doing? Yeah, no, I'm developing actually a series of my own. So thanks for asking. And I've been doing little experiments, most of which I post on Instagram and YouTube. These little, just small animations, very limited stuff, but it's a way for me to get my voice out there. And I do like to draw, and I do a lot of drawing on my iPad in Procreate, and I've learned how to make little animations out of it. And I'm like, this is really pretty fun. I can breathe a little life into static drawings that I do. Are you
going to do the Seth MacFarlane route and just like voice everybody?
Wouldn't that be nice? Yeah, I've worked for Seth before.
I've done Patrick Stewart for Seth a few times for various things, and it's always a pleasure to be in some way connected to that juggernaut of animation.
Do you ever, on that note, because I feel like you do kind of look like a Patrick Stewart a little bit.
You think so?
Do you ever a tiny bit? Do you ever pull out that accent and just go with it, completely fool people?
No, but I could. I tell you what I did one time is I rented his tunic, his Picard tunic from a costume store, and I went to the Comic-Con in San Diego, and I walked around, in all my glory, and perfected as much as possible his complete appearance. And, no one was fooled, but they all smiled at me. And I had a couple of people say, it's the best costume here. So,
it's a wonderful cosplay, sir. Who are you?
Wonderful cosplay, exactly. I can't help it.
So is there any, we're cartoon based, so we're not really going to talk about your acting career.
Good.
Okay, good.
So overblown anyway. Yeah.
Is there any voice acting role that you really went for and you're like, you didn't get it, and then when you saw the person they picked, you're like, they killed it. That was a good call.
Many times. I think that happens most of the time. Yeah. I mean, I do. I try all the time, and I audition quite a lot. I book things here and there. It's been my honor to do the Robin Williams Genie for a number of years, even before Robin's passing. I've done that for Disney. Disney's a little company. I don't know if you've heard of them. Quite modest.
They got a little run-of-the-mill streaming service in Park I've heard about.
Yeah, that's right, exactly. Out here, their locations in Burbank, which is a sort of a cradle of civilization. Anyway, I do the best I can. I enjoy it. I'm not so invested in the world of animation. I don't consume a lot of animation or cartoons myself. But when I get quite a few auditions, and I always do the best I can, I just approach it as an actor and create characters. Many of the times they want me to sound like someone else, like sound like Robin Williams, sound like Patrick Stewart or whatever. But I can also create characters on my own, and that's fun. It's a very beautiful art form, and it's a great team activity that's more and more involves people that never meet. Like when I work on an animated show, I rarely even meet the person who's cast me, or even the person that directs it, or my fellow actors, let alone the animators, the designers, and the people that put the visual work in. So it's become a very interesting team dynamic. But I do remember not too long ago, I guess 10 years or more ago, when it was the rule to always get all the actors there and to have them in the room together. I did Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles a number of times, and I always went in with the whole group and, did the recordings all together and horsed around. And I did Marvel Avengers Assemble with I don't know, there must have been 10 people in that room doing all the different parts. And it was, it was a lot of fun. It was very hard for Colette Sunderman to actually collect all of us and get us to shut up and do the script, because everybody was very invested in messing around big time. And
yeah, speaking of Avengers Assemble and stuff like that, people on the internet really love your Ultron. Like
Ultron.
They put you synonymous with like Mark Hamill as the Joker. Like they really like you as Ultron. I don't know if you know that.
It's my pleasure to do it. I really enjoy it. It's obviously a very interesting kind of unsympathetic character. I mean, if you think about it,
doing the genie was the ultimate in empathy and kindness and magic and doing unexpected things. And Ultron is completely the opposite, sort of robotic and awful and unsympathetic.
So it's a nice paradigm.
Now, do you have, when you get like a script, let's say you get hired, you get a script, or you're going to do an audition, do you have a process that you will kind of go through to, find the voice of the character or create the character?
I'm actually very quick with this stuff. And I think most professionals in my field train themselves to be extremely decisive and quick, because that's sort of the way the job is. We don't, most of us have time to mull things over too much or experiment too much or figure on it. And I come from my basic acting training was in improv. And in improv, you have, a few nanoseconds to kind of decide and make up your mind and get with it and start talking. So I, after years and years of doing that and having it turn out okay and never be really like a disaster, I default to what's my first idea. And an idea is very fast. I don't know if you've ever tracked one of your ideas, but it's fractions of a second. And so for better or for worse, I kind of look at a thing and I get a feeling instantly, and I'll try it. And if they'll come back, if they come back and say, oh yeah, could he be less grouchy or gravelly or whatever, I'll make that adjustment. That's easy to do too. But it's a field where, and I've directed as well. I've directed a lot of animation actors and voiceover people, and in the main, they're not people that hem and haw very much or do a lot of homework. They have sort of have at their disposal lots of different ways to express themselves. They have a lot of different emotions usually at their disposal, and accents and other peculiarities of speech and patterns and rhythms. And they don't have to search for them. They're kind of like all on their desktop there, and they just kind of snap one up and throw it in and start to work with it. And if you're a good director, and I've had many, they'll say, just like that, but just slow it, just pace it a little bit more, or just like that, but lean off of the Scottish accent just a little, just lean into it a little bit more. And a typical voiceover professional animation person can just go, okay, oh yeah, no problem. And they can, and it is no problem.
It's mind blowing.
And it comes, well, it's like any facility. I mean, I don't want to undersell it, but it comes from a great deal of practice. And I think what passes for talent a lot is just strong interest. I'm sure a lot of the people that you've talked to, myself included, are people that are just very interested in the expressive qualities of a voice and what can be transmitted character-wise from just this interesting piece of equipment that we have.
We don't talk to a lot of people. You're like our fourth interview. We usually just shit on.
Like I said, we searched hard and high and low for a quality podcast that was very discerning and wouldn't just interview anybody.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, we were super selective.
We all. Now, is there? I'm trying to think of the best way to ask this. So, because I don't want to like put you out there. I don't want you to insult anybody. But through all your voice acting, is there like a project that you had worked on that you thought was going to be, hey, this is going to be amazing, but it just floundered? It was just, call it underrated.
Well, you know, when you put it that way, I got very excited because I got a really good role in a Star Trek game. And I played a major character, Captain Solano, Star Trek Resurgence, I think.
Okay.
And I thought, oh man, this is going to be my key to the big brass ring here, because I'll go to Comic-Cons now and people go, oh my God, it's Captain Solano from Star Trek Resurgence. Yeah. And then it just sat there like a lox, as they say, and didn't do anything. Did anyone see it? Did anyone play it? I don't know. I have no idea. But I mean, you figure Star Trek, pretty big franchise.
Pretty big franchise.
And I don't know. People did, I'm not a gamer myself, so I don't know what its flaws may or may not have been, or what happened with marketing and so forth. It was a great job to have. It was a lot of fun to do, and I was in good company. But the other one is Epic Mickey 1 and 2. So Epic Mickey was going to be another huge thing. And in Epic Mickey 2, I had a major role as the mad scientist, who in Epic Mickey 1, the mad scientist, I think his whole routine, anything he said was like, that was kind of it. That was the range of his whole expression. And I did numerous ones of those. In Epic Mickey 2, he had lengthy ballads to sing, complicated lyrics, and maybe 5 songs, full songs with full orchestration, and which was really a great experience. I don't read music, so I had to be really helped a lot, but I do like to sing and I have a pretty good ear, and we got through it. But that was another game that I think after that they closed that whole division of Disney.
Wow.
It just bit the dust for some reason. But everybody tries their hardest. Yeah, thank you. Yeah, everybody tries their hardest and they put out a good product, and it becomes a question of marketing, sales, and the public's mood, and what, it has nothing necessarily to do with the quality, because I know lots of people that worked on it that did a great job, and it was a fun experience for me, that one that I absolutely cherish. But it would have been great had it been also a massive hit.
Yeah.
Yep.
And then people will be like, "Hey, you're the scientist.
You're the mad
scientist who tried to kill Mickey Mouse."
That's right. I tried to.
So you've voiced like 10 different presidents. My personal favorite was Ronald Reagan on the Boondocks.
Oh yes. Well, well, he of course was within living memory. A lot of these presidents were. When you hang around as long as I have, Andrew, you recognize that there's a familiarity that comes from just hearing these jokers on the radio time after time, that other people will have to do some deep diving research, but you've got it in your DNA, so to speak.
And Jimmy Carter for another Southerner, Georgia man, for the Elvis movie, that recent one with Austin Taylor, and that was a great experience as well to sort of portray that very memorable character. Again, a person I remember very well hearing on television, on the radio.
Do you have a favorite president that you've done?
Well, I'll tell you what, that George W. Bush is always the major favorite of the cognoscenti and the people that know things.
Now watch this drive.
Watch this drive. Yeah. Yeah, it's fun. It's a lot of fun. I didn't always feel comfortable performing. When I first got started, I came to New York. I'd been studying painting. Because I'd pursued this visual arts track for quite a while, very intently, and but at the same time, I really liked performing. I'd had some experience with it, and I'd seen, the careers of people in my family do very well, and I'd been very just sort of, like a lot of people are, you're just sort of curious. Could I be on TV? Could I be in films? It seems like a lot of fun. And when I went to New York specifically to get into acting and theater and so forth, I had the first barrier I hit, other than being completely broke, was nervousness and stage fright, and it was very palpable. I could feel it in my chest, and it was like a kind of anxiety that I know a lot of people get. And I realized I was going to have to do something about it, and I was able to handle it. Obviously, because I have now done it for 40 years. But back then, it was like a kind of a crisis. And I think a lot of people run into the different things that make them have anxiety, they're just nervous about something, even though it might be right on their path. In other words, something they really need and want to do with their lives, and yet they collide with this anxiety. And for me, the thing that handled it, believe it or not, was this book that my mentor recommended to me, my painting mentor, because it had helped him too. And that was Dianetics by L. Ron Hubbard. Dianetics, the Modern Science of Mental Health. And I read that book. I started to apply those principles. And in short order, I did not have any anxiety of any kind or any nervousness. And I was able to pursue my career very, very swiftly. And within a couple of years, I was in New York. I was earning my living as an actor. And I was performing in front of audiences with nothing, with just no script at all, improvised stuff. And from there, I graduated into doing improvised commercials for companies in Texas and Florida and different places. Made a buttload of money doing improvised commercials for grocery chains. And, I was just like, wow, pinch me. How does this happen? It was really, and if it hadn't been for that book, I wouldn't have had those wins. So I'm always grateful.
Okay, nice.
I did see that one of the grocery chains was it Food Lion?
Yeah, worked for Food Lion for about 4 years, I think.
So, I know they're big down here. I think they're everywhere. So when you drive by a Food Lion, do you kind of, because you've got children, but when they was young, would you point out like, hey, if it wasn't for me, Food Lion wouldn't be a thing, guys?
I didn't really put it that way, but they were around before me and they were around after me. It's been a long time now. But what was funny was we don't have Food Lions out here in California, and but I would visit my in-laws in Maryland, and they had Food Lions around there or somewhere down there. It's a southern sort of thing. And my big cardboard image was often featured in the stores. So we would sneak into Food Lion to buy something, trying to be very, stealthy and surreptitious and anonymous.
There you were.
And there I was. And nobody made a big fuss, but it was fun. And I would point that out to my daughter, and we'd horse around.
That's cool.
Did your mom, Marion Ross, ever give you any pointers or anything with voice acting, or
voice acting? No, but
acting,
career pointers. Yeah, always.
I guess when you said it struck me as odd when you said you went off to go be a painter, because
It is
you have
odd.
acting parents. Was that just you're just like, I didn't want to be an actor at first, Mom. I'm gonna go paint.
No, I didn't have any. I didn't have any kind of chip on my shoulder about acting. I had some confusion about it for sure because my mother had this sensational success that I mean, it's just kind of confusing when you're a kid and suddenly, we're on a hit show, but it isn't me, and it's you, and but you're playing a mother of another family, and okay, and we have money, but we don't have a lot of money, but people know us, and I mean, it's just a lot of swirling stuff that happens when if someone in your family is struck by the thunderbolt of fame. It's interesting. It can be very disorienting. But the best thing my mom did for me, among the many, many things that my mom did for me, keeping me alive, giving birth to me, all these things, was to set a great example as a professional actor. So since I grew up in her household, I observed what she did to get jobs, to prepare for jobs, to deliver on jobs, to meet the public, to do public relations, what to do in the downtimes of your career, and all these other things that are kind of like, wow, I guess you could look them up now online, but back in the day, you'd be like, I don't know how to do all this stuff.
Oh, yeah.
And that was very helpful to me. Like, I saw that she took an attitude that was different from other people that I knew that were trying to be actors, right? When I went to New York, I knew a lot of actors and a lot of people I'd gone to college with. Everybody's in New York. We're all trying to be actors and everybody's doing different things. It's a wonderful competition. And a lot of guys were like a little bit on waiting around, and hoping. And why doesn't my agent call? And I'll be at the gym, I'm going to work out and this kind of thing. And I knew from living with Marion, my mom, that she never did that. She never waited around. She would think of ways to get herself in the public eye. She would go to premieres and openings and do staged readings and do plays, star in plays. And plays are a lot of work, as you guys know. They're a lot of work. They don't pay much. They're kind of a pain in the ass, but they're acting and they're getting you out there and people see it. And it proves to you more than anybody else, I'm an actor. I must be an actor because look, I'm on stage.
I'm acting, yeah.
I'm acting right now, So that helped me form my own attitude and my own philosophy about getting work, which is that you don't wait for it, and you don't depend on your manager, and you don't depend on your agent, and you don't depend on anything except yourself and your ability to make some more noise and to get out there and perform and do stuff for free and be an actor.
Yeah.
I guess, like butted heads with an actor to the point where it's just completely ruined the project.
Wow. You know something I don't know?
Well, no, I just
has one of your other three guests been talking about me?
Well, we keep them private.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. That makes sense. Yeah.
We're like a psychiatrist over here. You gotta listen to the episode to find out if they were talking shit about you, Jim.
Damn it. Man, they're always talking shit about me. Always. Well, not really. I find that most people that are professionals are good at working with other people. They've either grown up in the theater or in improv or something, or they're just terrified of being fired and they don't make a big fuss. Sometimes you'll run into people that, well, now I'm not talking out of school because this has been published and talked about a lot, but Tom Bosley, who played my mother's husband in Happy Days, was a pain in the ass. And he did not treat my mother very well, did not treat women actresses that he worked with very well. I know that from talking to other women actresses that we made cry. So, she butted heads, but she was not a head butter, though. She figured out a way what she deployed was her own empathy, her own love, and kind of won him over a period of some years and some stress, and just would flow him support and admiration. And eventually he got off of this being a prick. But that happened. In my case, the only thing that I can think of is that one time I did an episode of the British Whose Line Is It Anyway?
Oh, yeah.
And everybody, people, improv, not everybody has been educated in the same discipline of improv. and people, there's different kind of camps and schools and so forth. It's all pretty much the same. And most people who do improv recognize that it is a creative endeavor based on agreement, and that we help one another. We have each other's backs, and we create something wonderful out of that. I worked with one woman, though, a British woman whose name I won't mention, who really never was trained in improv, I think, and was a writer and was very witty, but was miserable as far as collaboration. And so, one of the senior rules of improv is to say yes, and rather than no, but. And so if someone suggests something like, okay, well, we're all going camping, kids. Let's get this all together. Yes. And by the way, can we also stop off at the dinosaur park? Yes, we can. And I'll make sure we'll get those snow cones you like too. That's great, because, my mouth is finally healed and I can have this. We build by agreement and by saying yes and.
Okay.
But if you start to see and go, well, detective, I don't know why you're coming by my house. I thought I explained everything down at the station. I'm not the detective.
Yeah.
Just kind of ruins the mood.
Okay, what do you think? What do you think?
What
I'll agree with you. What do you suggest? Well, I'll agree with you. We'll build something here. God damn it!
And for me, I would like to know if all across fiction, is there any character that, like, if they're like, we're making this a series or we're making this a movie, and this guy's going to be a CGI character. Is there a character out there that you're like, that you call your agent and you're like, I don't care what you have to do, you give me that part right now? Is there anything that really stands out to you that you're like?
Well, I do like Professor Xavier. I must say, there's something marvelous about him, and also Magneto, who's sort of similar. But again, I'm just imitating those wonderful actors that played them in the movies. But I also I've never quite got my fill of Western characters. And there's a whole catalog, a whole library of Western guys that aren't necessarily heard from anymore. When I was growing up, every third show was a Western. So I'm sort of always leaning in that direction. My father was from Texas. I know a lot of Texas people. I love that whole genre. I haven't quite expended my interest in that.
Okay. Well, I'm officially out of questions.
Well, I wanted to know.
We haven't talked about Thundercats.
You were the character designer on Thundercats.
The senior character designer for Thundercats. Yeah.
So I guess, do we have any particular characters that we should thank you for?
Oh, many, many. All the secondary characters that came in after the initial group was done. I mean, everybody.
Oh, that's all you.
That's all me. The weapons, the characters, the animals, the vehicles. They started with me in a little office on 53rd and 5th Avenue in New York City when I was I guess I was 24.
Well, you're definitely first pick for Snarf, right? If they do live action. Yeah. I mean, there you go. You can be everyone's favorite character, Snarf.
I saw an incredible AI film of the cat's lair and the thunder tank, and it's like, oh God, it's amazing.
Yeah,
it's fantastic. There's no reason why that movie couldn't be made this afternoon.
Yeah.
I've been involved in 2 reboots as voice artist. And when I audition, I always tell my agents, let them know that I was a character designer, will you? Because then they kind of go, oh, he's the character. Can we have him in? And then they get excited, and then I get a job. I played Monkeyan in, which was not a great part, but I played Monkeyan in the Cartoon Network Thundercats Roar, which was apparently not a big hit with fans.
Not like that one.
No, that was a very deconstructivist version. And then in the other reboot of Thundercats that was on the CW, I think, which was more of an anime treatment.
Yeah.
I played a variety of different characters, and that was super fun and a beautiful show. And Dan Norton, who was in charge of that show, did a fantastic job. So, it keeps coming back. It was, one of these things. I stumbled into that job by the strangest kind of ways, and I did it for about a year. And then I was turning over my duties to, as I started to get more work in commercials, and I didn't need to draw for a living anymore, I kind of went on a part-time schedule, and I turned over a lot of my duties to a young man named Bob Camp, who later was one of the creators of Ren and Stimpy. Which I take a fair amount of responsibility for that, because I was the guy that got him his first jobs in animation with Rankin Bass. So you're welcome.
Yeah.
Now, would you be willing to share the story of how you got kind of started with Thundercats? Because I would be interested in hearing that.
Sure. Yeah, I'll say it briefly. I've told it many times, but I was working as a commercial artist, so I would take my portfolio literally in my hand, and I would walk around to different offices, and I would get appointments, and I would show people my drawings. And I had worked for King Features Syndicate a lot. I'd drawn Popeye and Beetle Bailey and Betty Boop and all these kind of known characters. I could pretty much draw whatever I can see. So it's just a question of learning the language of the kind of line they want and all these sort of things. Anyway, one day a rep, an artist rep who wanted to represent me said, "Hey, I've got you an appointment with at Rankin Bass. They're looking for a storyboard artist." And I'd been, as you mentioned, a storyboard assistant at Hanna-Barbera for a summer when I was 18. And that really was not a very skilled position, although you had to know how to draw. But knowing how to, I didn't really know how to do storyboarding. I knew how to work with another artist to complete their drawings that would become storyboards. So anyway, I had that experience, and I had that on my resume, my non-existent resume. And so I met with Jules Bass, and Jules Bass in this beautiful office on Fifth Avenue. He had this new show, Thundercats, and he showed me, he said, "We're looking for a storyboard artist because all the work is being done in the Pacific Rim, but we do the planning here, the scripting and the storyboarding will be done here." And he showed me some storyboards that he'd pinned to the wall, and he said, "What do you think of those?" And I knew, I guess instinctively, that he was not satisfied with them. So I didn't mind disparaging them a little bit.
Yeah.
So I said, I still remember what I said. I said, "Well, they're good. They look a little lean to me. Like not enough information, not, whatever, deficient." Right. And so on the strength of that, he said, "All right, well, we'll give you a try. We'll give you a try." So we did the deal and figured out how much I was going to make, and I approved, and then I went home and I realized, oh my God, I don't really know how to do storyboards. It then struck me, that I just walked into a booby trap that I'd set myself. So I tried, and I went back, and I was really sweating. I mean, sweating. And Jules, I'll always be grateful to Jules Bass for many reasons, but for this singular thing, he let me stew in it for a few days trying to do storyboards. And I know how to draw, it's all fine, but storyboarding is storytelling. It's what are we going to see next that tells the story, that moves the action forward. It says, now I understand it much better, but at the time I was like, well, this is actually quite complex. So he let me stew in it for a couple of days, and then he said, okay, we're going to take you off storyboards, and we're going to put you on to designing some characters. And then I breathed a sigh of deep relief, because that was something I actually was qualified to do.
Yeah, there you go.
I had a much more of a feeling for designing characters than for telling the story of where these characters go and drawing them in different positions and different angles and all that stuff. And so then I did that for about a year and did 125 episodes. And then one day they said, "You want to go and watch one of the recordings?" And I said, "Oh, yeah." And after watching the actors muck around and do the recordings and play the voices and play all the characters, grown-ups having fun, I looked at that and I went, oh, no, this is the job I want.
Yeah.
This is the job.
And
eventually I got it. They hired me to do voices for a thing called the comic strip.
I was just about to bring that up. So did that help that you could like draw Beetle Bailey? That they were like, hey, since you can draw, you can be him.
Didn't have any.
That shows how much I know about Hollywood. You just like, check it out.
Yeah.
Huh? You still didn't get the part. Oh, okay. Well, but you didn't.
Yeah. So that's the story.
Do you have any Do you have any advice for anybody who wants to get into voice acting? Like, you're like,
I have a lot of advice. I actually have an online
Perfect.
course. I would like to recommend to your dozens of listeners that
hey, you're too kind.
that they go to jimmeskimen.com and check out my online course. I have one in how to get a job and how to work in and build a career in voiceover, how to do impressions, and another one in just how to manage and grow your career as an actor in general. So those are all available there, and I've got lots of good advice. Hard won from the streets.
Yeah. If you use code word dumpster, you can get 30%. I'm just
I
kidding.
need a code word. Maybe not dumpster, but I need a code word. Snarf.
That's,
Maybe snarf. Snarf would be the code word.
We make a lot of jokes about that's why we don't get a lot of ad spots. Like our friends will be like, you have a garbage can in the title of your show, basically. We're not changing it. I already got the stickers made years ago.
Yeah, you've made your choice.
Too much.
Yeah. No, I'm not changing this now. We're staying on this sinking ship till it goes all the way down.
Oh, man.
Well, with the captain on the Titanic, we're staying on.
But Jim, it was wonderful to have you on.
Thank you. It's great to be here. Nice talking to you guys.
Yeah. Is there anything else you'd like to promote before we kind of sign off here?
I'd invite everybody to come and visit me on Instagram at Jimpressions, and also my YouTube channel. I got stuff going up every day, multiple things and all kinds of stuff. And yeah, join my community at jimmeskimen.com. There's all kinds of fun things there. I'm basically in the business of creating fun, amusing, short things for people to be distracted by. So there's plenty there for you to check out.
Awesome. Well,
Wonderful.
you heard it there. Yeah. So how do we get this to where he shuts off? I don't know.
I'll just
he leave?
Well, bye-bye, everybody.
I'll just end the recording. How about that, Andrew?
Okay. We'll figure this out.
Yeah. This is our first time doing an interview on the software.
On StreamYard? Oh, I use it all the time. It's great.
Yeah. We used to use Discord and then record our stuff on a different platform. And then we didn't do videos up until just recently. So like we did an interview with the creator of Jim, Christy Mark, and she was like, "Is this going to be a video?" I was like, "We don't know how to do that." So you're good.
Yep.
Well, cool, guys. All right. Great talking to you.
Yeah, it was
Jim,
awesome talking
we appreciate it so much.
My pleasure. All right. Good luck with everything.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Joe. Bye.
Bye. Oh wait, should I just end the episode? Right.
No.
No, don't stop recording. I need to do our stuff.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
Oh,
we are done interviewing. I was just going to say,
what a wonderful professional interview we just did.
What a great guy.
Yeah, cool guy.
Yeah, like very, very laid back, very easy to talk to.
Yeah.
I
didn't
liked
have
it.
anything to be nervous. Good questions on the interview, Joel.
Good questions to you too, Andrew.
I didn't feel like doing a fake improv name because
you wanted to be professional.
I almost put Jim Drew. I was so close. I was like, don't do that shit. He's
The
not gonna
first-
get this, and then I gotta explain this.
I was about to say the first 15 minutes of the recording is having to break down.
So a lot of
Andrew's
this
name.
podcast is me doing a bunch of dumb bullshit.
Oh, Jim.
But hey, if you want to get interviewed by us, as you can clearly tell, we're great at it.
Oh my god, we're gonna have just rando people,
Dude, please. If you're
I actually will.
If you're a voice actor and you want to talk to us, reach out. Or an animator of any kind.
I was about to say, like, we're gonna have our fans. I'll interview the fans.
Oh yeah, we'll interview you, fan.
We'll get real deep into life's mystery. What's the meaning of life? That's going to be the first question we ask you.
That's true. That can be our feelings episode. But if you'd like to support the show, you can go to patreon.com/cartoondd. There we have the $5 tier that gets you stickers and pins mailed to your door. We should send him some stickers and pins mailed to his door. He doesn't have to pay because he's famous. You get in a movie, you get a free one. How about that, guys?
That's the complete opposite. They should pay. They've got the money.
Well, he might put it on his Instagram. He's like, I talked to these two numb nuts.
Very true. Very
And,
true. You're right.
Yeah. What was that? Oh, yeah. If you want to go to our website, it's cartoondumpsterdive.com. You can send us an email if you want us to interview you. That's probably the best way. Cartoondumpsterdive@gmail.com. We're Cartoon DD on Twitter and Cartoon Dumpster Dive everywhere else. If you're listening to this on YouTube, please like, comment, and subscribe. And as always, please leave a 5-star review on the podcasting platform of your choice so we can interview more voice actors and creators and also shit on your favorite cartoons from yesteryear. Have a great rest of your week.
See you. He immediately went after my ex.
I know. That's so funny. I was like, the second you started talking, he was like, so I was like, oh, fuck, he's going. And then when he like, it was so funny. He goes, whoa, it's not a speech event. I'm like, no, buddy. It is
like,
one. Guys,
it is.
I've been one ever since he was a little baby boy. That's so fucking funny, though.